Welcome to Soul Code. So this is just to address the issue that comes around times and times again about Windows, Microsoft ending support of certain operating systems. It's been around for a long while, for each time you want to stop support on the operating systems, people get agitated, and I personally I get requests from people. I get questions from people, clarifications, asking, "Oh, please, I want to upgrade my OS. I want to change OS. I learned Microsoft is stopping support. OS is XP. Windows 10 is ending. Is having end of life at so date." So Microsoft has announced October, I think October 14th. You can check that online as the end of life for Windows 10. And what does that really mean for you? Do you have to worry? Do you have to panic? Do you have to upgrade? Or do you have to stay with your operating system? And there are no cast in stone. It's either here or it's neither here nor there. I wouldn't say you should stay with your old OS, or you should move on with your own. With the new OS. I just want to let you know what it means when an OS or a solution has reached its end of life. So the basic fact is that your system is going to continue to function even with the old system. It might surprise you that till date, some systems around the world might still be running Windows 7. There's possibility that some systems around the world might still be running Windows XP. Is it safe? No. Would their system run normally? Yes. Their systems may be running normally. So we have so many legacy systems that changing them are not quite easy. Upgrading the OS is not quite easy because of the applications that are running on them, and some of those solutions, they've been installed for ages and you can't tamper with them. If you tamper with them, something is going to get broken, and you don't want to do that. There are some systems that possibly the supplier, the vendor, or the company that supported it had gone down, or things like that, or they are no longer supporting that version, but you are still fine with the version you are using. Possibly they might ask you to upgrade to their newer version, but of course, maybe that's not in line with your own business rules or business needs, and you get stuck with such clients or users. They get stuck with their old systems, and their system is running fine in certain scenarios. For instance, in where you have for instance, ATM machines ran on XP. So later, some companies, some banks upgraded their ATM machines to Windows 7, and just after a short while, Windows 10 came and all that. Yeah, it's best that they upgrade their systems as there are new versions, as the support is being discontinued on those versions. But sometimes it's actually cost a lot for those organizations to upgrade all their machines. Some have thousands of ATM machines all around the country or things like that, and it really costs a lot and some downtime to push updates into those machines. And the funny thing is that you might have a group policy to upgrade those systems, but things don't work exactly the same way across. You might have some systems failing to be upgraded, and it could get really messy. So some people stay with their old systems and they still run very fine. So between you and I, your Windows 10 will still work perfectly even 5 years away from now, 10 years away from now. It still work fine. However, I will not guarantee that the new softwares, the new applications that will be coming out will still be compatible with it. But with the current system you have, with the current configuration you have, the applications you have on it, it will still work very fine even after the end of life. So how is the end of life going to affect you? Number one that will be coming in, number one thing that may affect you is bug fixes. If you've been a user of Windows for a while, you know that Windows usually carry out updates, which is normally called Windows updates. You could stop that update or you could allow it to run. Personally, I do stop updates because I have solutions, I have some applications that may not be applicable with, that may not be compatible with Windows releases, and they get things broken. So you have to really study your environment, you have to really study your needs, you need an overview of your environment to know the effect of each Windows update, each patch you are adding to your system. So what is going to stop when a system reaches end of life, as Windows 10 is reaching end of life, is that Microsoft is not going to release bug fixes again. And many users, average users, would not even understand what bug fixes mean in an operating system. People will tell you, well, my system has functioned well, I've got no problems with it. But some other people experience certain things, certain operational issues, OS issues that Microsoft itself is aware of. And if such happens, if you later discover that on your Windows 10, Microsoft is not going to be responsible when the OS has crossed the end of life. So Microsoft is not going to fix any bugs on Windows 10 any longer. So then the other thing is security fixes. OS systems have vulnerabilities. Systems get hacked time and over again. A few years back, I think United Kingdom and some few countries around the world got really affected by ransomware. I've forgotten the name now precisely, but there was a particular very dangerous guy that was asking for Bitcoin as a ransom for the systems that were hacked. And I think most of the systems then were running on either Windows XP or Windows 7. So if you run Windows 10, Microsoft is not going to release any security fixes for that Windows 10, and you are liable to whatever happens to you. You can't hold Microsoft responsible for any security flaws that happens to your system, because they have actually warned that we are discontinuing the support of this, and therefore no security fixes. So it now depends on you how you want to handle issue of security on your system. Yeah, Microsoft does its best to release security updates and make your system secure, but it's also your responsibility to secure your system by every means available. Physical accessibility and logical accessibility is your responsibility. Passwords, strong passwords, and antivirus especially, and all the guidelines around keeping safe on your system, in the internet space, in the internet ecosystem. The responsibility is on you to be wary of the links you click on and the sites you visit. Then the other thing that will be missing out is the time zone updates. Windows 10, after the end of life, you're not going to be getting time zone updates automatically from Microsoft. Then the technical support from Microsoft is going to be cut off. And yeah, average user is going to ask, what does that even mean? I've never had to call Microsoft. Most of us have never had to call Microsoft, especially for if you use your system for personal uses. You likely never called Microsoft for any technical support or anything. You just find your way around your thing, or you manage your system that way, or you go online and look for threads that have discussed the similar issues you have. Everyone just find their way. But in big organizations, they do actually contact the tech support for support. okay, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I go about this? And Microsoft is always happy to render that. With end of life, no tech support for that system, for that OS. Then the last thing is the Windows update that comes every now and then on your system. I said earlier that you could actually disable Windows update on your system. It's not advisable if you are really not in control, if you are not too tech savvy. It's not a problem if you are not. Most of us don't care about many things, and many people, you just know that Windows is being updated. What exactly has been updated, you don't even know, but you just want your system updated, which is fine. But for people that are a bit more skeptical or a bit more tech savvy, they actually know what each of the updates has come to offer. So updates, I recommend as much as possible allow Windows updates. But of course, when the system reaches end of life, when Windows 10 reaches end of life, you're not going to be getting Windows update from it. Whatever patches, whatever benefit Windows updates brings, you're not going to be enjoying it, but your system will still function very fine. However, Microsoft is not going to be liable to any problem that comes to your system in terms of security breaches and what have you. So that's basically what this video is about, to tell you that you don't have to panic when the system goes into end of life. You don't have to be worried whether or not your system is going to continue to function optimally or not. Your system is going to function as it has always been functioning. But these highlights are the things that you should take note of. Bug fixes are no longer supported, are no longer given on Windows 10 once it reaches end of life. Security fixes is ending. Time zone updates is not going to be coming again. There's not going to be any technical support. They're not going to call any number on Windows. If they ring, if they pick that call, they are going to tell you, sorry, we've discontinued support on Windows 10. They're going to tell you that politely, and you can't be angry because I have told you and Microsoft have told you. Then the last thing is the Windows updates. You're not going to be getting Windows updates on that system again. But for your own safety, ensure that your that your antivirus is up to date, and follow all other security protocols around your system and internet, basically. Yeah, thank you.